Hi everybody, Ellen here. Today I come to you guys with my November book haul and I once again have a shitload of books and like 2 mangas, and previously I've actually made these into 2 separate videos, but I haven't bought too many mangas with only buying 2, so we're just going to make it into one giant haul. So first of all, one of my most anticipated releases, and it's a behemoth. But that is, of course, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, although this is the Swedish edition, so it's Den flammande bägaren. And this is, of course, illustrated by Jim Kay. I love his illustrations so much, and I haven't actually started this one yet because I haven't finished my reread of The Prisoner of Azkaban. But I will definitely be starting this one this month. This one was so freaking delayed, so I ordered it like before its release date in like September, and I didn't get it until the very end of October, which is why I didn't make it onto my October book haul. But I'm really looking forward to reading this one because the illustrations will be amazing, like this when the Beauxbatons students arrive at Hogwarts. So yeah, definitely going to plow on through this one. And then we have Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I really can't pronounce that. Muir? I don't know. This was ridiculously hard to come by in Sweden because I kept ordering it and it kept getting cancelled. So I actually had to order it from Book Depository. I really want to look into it too much because, well, I just want to kind of go in blind, but I mean, it has the coolest cover ever, so hopefully it will be very cool. But I think it's Necromancers, actually, to be a little bit more specific. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. 2 books in the same series, and of course they are different publishers, so of course they don't match size-wise, and of course they don't match the cover I do have of the first book, because why would it? But I have Before the Devil Breaks You and Layer of Dreams by Leva Bray. This is the second one and this is the third one. Size-wise, it's not like too bad, but it's definitely a difference. So we'll see if either of these heights will match the first book that I do have. But I really enjoyed the first one, so I really want to continue on with the series. I think this series is supposed to be wrapped up in like February or something when the 4th book comes out. So I'm really looking forward to it. And this is a series I've been wanting to read for a really long time, so I'm really glad I actually started it. But in this series we meet Evie, and she has sort of this ability to touch different objects, and she'll see kind of what happened to the owner of that object while they were wearing the object, kind of. And her uncle is actually working at this museum of occult things, and people end up dead, and she and her uncle tries to help the police find out who is the murderer and everything like that. And this takes place, I think, in the 1920s in New York. So I'm really looking forward to continue over the series because I really did enjoy the first book. And then we have Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. And this is about a girl who is HIV positive, and she actually did come out as HIV positive at her old school, but that turned all down to crap because people treated her like shit. And then she switched schools and nobody knows that she's HIV positive, but she's actually getting closer and closer to this guy who might become like her boyfriend, or possibility of becoming that. And she wants to be honest with him, but she hasn't actually told him yet. And then all of a sudden someone is starting to blackmail her into, you know, getting her to confess to the fact that she's HIV positive. I never read a book about a character that actually is HIV positive, definitely not like a young adult book, so this will be really interesting and educating, I believe. And just, if you're going to use the Swedish expression, I'm just going to say hör och häpna. I actually bought a thriller book, which has not happened a lot. I bought like a few Gillian Flynn books back in the day, which I would say count kind of thriller-esque, don't they? But yeah, I bought a thriller because it just sounded interesting, and I kind of want to like widen my horizon by reading a little bit more different genres. So I bought The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I do know of Ruth Ware. I think she's written a lot of thriller books, so I've heard the talk of the town on BookTube about her. I don't really know that much. I think it's this girl who stumbles across this ad in the paper or something for a live-in nanny position, and she gets the job. She starts taking care of the kids, and it seems to be like this perfect family, but since it's a thriller, obviously it is not. So shit started to go down. One of the kids end up dead, and the main character is suspected of being the murderer, and you know, just had to figure out what the hell went wrong. Then another one of my most anticipated releases, and that is The Toll by Neil Shusterman. This is huge. I actually don't think it's like that thick, but it looks like it's never going to stop. But I don't think it's like that much more than 600 pages. Is 625, but it looks like it's like 800 or something. But this is the third and final book in the Arc of Scythe trilogy, is it called, I think, by Neil Shusterman, like I said. And I really loved the first two books, especially the second one, because holy crap, cliffhanger, plot twist, it was amazing. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one, and it's definitely on my radar to finish it this year, because, you know, another finished series, which I'm totally failing at. But this is about kind of a new world. People don't die of age or disease or anything like that anymore, and they have to have these scythes that actually glean people to keep the population rate down. And we met Rowan and Citra, I think their name, I don't really know. But they actually get to be ARC apprentices, and only one of them in the end can become a scythe, and if they do, their family will have immunity and everything like that. And it's just kind of them learning to be a scythe, and a lot of gory, bloody death and politics, and I just love it so much. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And then we have The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. I've heard a bit about this one. It's a graphic novel and has really cute pictures. And I don't really know that much about it. We meet this prince, obviously, since the title, called Sebastian, and his parents are actually looking for a princess for him, but he is too busy trying to keep his secret away from everyone, and that is that at night he puts on daring dresses and takes Paris by storm as the fabulous Lady Crystalia, the hottest fashion icon in the world, capital of fashion. And his secret weapon is the dressmaker Francis, who is actually the one, you know, making the dresses. And it just seems so sweet, and a just really interesting subject that I haven't read a lot about previously, definitely not in a graphic novel. I'm really trying to get into graphic novels some more, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Another most anticipated releases of this year, and that is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This definitely does not match my other covers of the series, because not the same publisher, and I just thought, yay, paperback, it will match the other ones, and then just like, this is really small, so I'm guessing this is a UK cover. I don't know. Yes, it is, because it says UK prices in the back. But yeah, it's tiny, and it's definitely not floppy. But yeah, this is the third and final book in the Renegades trilogy, is it called, I think. In this one we meet Nova and Adrian, and they happens to be on the opposite sides of kind of this big war thing going on. We have people with different abilities, and the Renegades are sort of controlling the city, making up the laws and acting as the kind of police force and everything like that. And then we have the anarchists, I think they called them, and they're sort of the bad guys that they're trying to, you know, erase. And there's sort of a power play going on, and Nova is actually the anarchist, and Adrian is with the Renegades. And Nova's family was actually killed by kind of outlaws, kind of superhero beings, and the Renegades was supposed to come help them, and they didn't. So Nova actually kind of, you know, joined forces with the anarchists. And I really love being on both sides of kind of good and evil, and I really think that the line in this book is kind of, it's not as black and white, it's sort of a grey area. And I really love the characters and the different plot twists, and the abilities are really cool, and I I love superheroes, so I mean, how could I not read this book? Come to the manga portion of the haul. So I bought some manga. But this is Death Note Black Edition, volume 5 and volume 6. So technically, while recording this, I've only read the first volume, but I did really love it. So I have slowly but steadily been collecting all of them, because in the Black Edition there's actually 2 volumes in one. So I mean, I will have read all 12 volumes when I read this, because this is a finished series, and I really do love the concept and the characters and the art style. So I just wanted to continue on with it. This is a series about this teenage boy called Light, and he actually ends up finding this death note lying on the street. And if you write in this death note the people's names that you write down, they will end up dying, and you can even specify when or how you're going to die. And he just tried to rid the world of evil, but it turns out that the world is not as black and white as he thought. It's sort of a gray area, and when exactly do you become evil and a bad guy? So it's really interesting concept, and I really do love it. So I just kind of want to plow on through these, honestly. But yeah, now I have the entire series, and I'm just gonna hopefully read them all very soon. Now we have more graphic novels. So this is White Sand Volume 2 and White Sand Volume 3. I've only read the first one previously, obviously, but I think this is supposed to be the finished set of them. I don't really remember anything, so I'll definitely have to reread the first one. I don't really want to read the description of these because spoilers, because I need to read the first one. But there's supposed to be magic and some sort of kind of competition in the first one to decide who gets to do, well, something. I really can't describe this because it sounds so vague, because I really don't remember, because I read it a long time ago. But yeah, I'm going to try to finish these, and I will have finished another trilogy, so that would be good. And then we have another behemoth, and this is Harry Potter und der Orden des Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. This is the German 20-year edition, and these editions are so freaking beautiful, and I just love them so much. You can't really see that, it's shiny. And we have the twins in the back. So I've been slowly but steadily collecting all of these, and now I needed the 5th one, and I love Harry Potter so much, as you know, because, well, you can see my shelves. But I just needed these because these are like the most beautiful editions I have seen of them. And as for the question if I could actually read and understand them, I did read German for quite a few years actually, until my 2nd year of high school. But since then I've barely used it at all, so I've definitely lost like the majority of it. But I always have had as a kind of as a goal to read them in German, like sometimes through my life. So I should probably get to it, because otherwise I will definitely have lost everything that I do know. But yeah, I really look forward to reading this at some point. For another genre I don't really read a lot, but I do love, and that is historical fiction. So this is Across a Broken Shore by Emmy Trueblood. And this one we meet 18-year-old Wilhelmina, and it's 1936, and she's the only daughter amongst 4 sons. Her family is Irish Catholic, and it's counting on her to take her vows, you know, to become a nun, and she has a different calling. She sneaks away to help Dr. Catherine Winston in a medical clinic in San Francisco's Richmond district. So she's trying to keep the secret from her family and everything like that, and shit goes down. And I just love historical fiction. I barely ever read them because it takes me quite a long time to get through them, I feel like, and I haven't really had any good ideas of what to read. So if you have any good suggestions down below, please let me know. I have started to collect a few at least, so hopefully I'll get to them very soon, but really looking forward to reading this one. And now we have another book that's been really hard to come by in Sweden. At least took me a long time because it was constantly sold out for whatever reason. But this is Loki Where Mischief Lies by Mackenzie Lee. I have read The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue series by her, and I really do love that series, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I don't really know what it's about, except it's before the days of going toe-to-toe with the Avengers, so it's Loki's kind of life building up to that. And I do love mythology, and I have read a lot about different mythologies, mostly Greek, but I do really like the Norse one as well. And I'm just really looking forward to reading this one. And then we have Scars Like Wings by Erin Stewart. And this is about Ava Lee, and she lost her parents, her best friend, and her home, and even her face in this fire, and everybody just keeps looking at her kind of weird and differently because of that. And she just wants to go back to high school and be normal again, whatever that is, and trying to make friends and everything like that. But no one wants to be seen with the burn girl. But no one wants to be seen with the burnt girl now or ever, so it's really hard. But she meets this fellow survivor named Piper, and she begins to feel like she doesn't have to face this nightmare alone. So sounds like a really interesting topic, and I just really wanted to pick it up. Now we have Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, and honestly I don't know anything about this. I just know it's dragons. And I just need to find some good fantasy with dragons because I just love dragons. As you guys might know at this point, I do love Jane Eyre, so I bought a retelling because I've never read a Jane Eyre retelling before, and I've been having my eyes on this one for like a year or so, and I finally just took the plunge. But this is Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay, and this is supposed to be kind of a little bit darker, gruesome retelling of Jane Eyre. So this is kind of if Jane Eyre was, you know, a brutal murderer, and what would have been different from the original version. And I really want to read it because it seems so dark, and I just want to read a different version of one of my favorite books of all time. So really looking forward to reading this one. And then we have The Tyrant's Tomb, which is the 4th book in the Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. I have only read the first book in this series, but I mean, I do really like the character Apollo, and I do love Rick Riordan's other series because, as you can see right here, I do have a lot of his books, and these are only the ones I've read, so I have more I haven't read. So I really want to continue on with this series, but this is pretty much about the god Apollo. He was in this sort of big argument with the main god, if you will, Zeus, who is his father, and he got sent back to the earth in the form of a pimply, gangly teenager, and he has lost all of his powers, and he has to try to like earn them back to be able to become one of the gods again. And shit goes freaking down, and Apollo still kind of acts like he's a god even though he's not, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to continue on with this series and hopefully get to this book very soon. And then we have the very last book, which is The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth, and I just really love this cover. But we meet Evelyn and Philippa, and 6 years ago Happel covered from airstrikes in London in a bomb shelter, but that night took a turn when the sisters were swept away to a strange and beautiful kingdom called the Woodlands, where they lived for years in a forest straight out of a myth and legend. When they finally returned to London, no time had passed and nothing had changed. Nothing except themselves. Now Evelyn is desperate to return to the Woodlands no matter what it takes, while Philippa just wants to move on. But when Ev goes missing, Philippa must confront the death of her sister's despair as the week unfolds. Philippa wonders if Eve truly did find a way home, or if the weight of the world finally pulled her under. And that's pretty much all I know, but I do like, you know, books where you disappear into a different world, kind of Alice in Wonderland-esque, if you will. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Yeah, that was the last book in this haul, so let's count them. Okay, so I have 21 books. So yeah, if you have read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought about them, without spoiling of course. And remember, if you do have any historical fiction sort of recommendations for me, please let me know down below as well, because I really do want to read more of them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye!